Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Axiom Group pre-conference interview for our Financial Shared Services Center 2018, taking place on the 22 and 23rd of March in Barcelona. Today, we are happy to host our speaker, Ricardo Blasco, the Financial Director and Global R2R Leader Process from Coty Cosmetics. Good morning, Ricardo.
Hello, good morning, Ali.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Thanks so much for inviting me to this event.
Welcome. Ricardo, he joined Coty since 2002 as a financial controller, and he's holding a master in finance from EADA Business School in Barcelona. Please, Ricardo, can you tell us more about your background career?
Yes, sure, with pleasure. So, yes, I studied economics at the University of Barcelona, and I also did a master in SADE and in EADA for MBA and finance administration. And also during my career, the first years, I went through different companies like Panasonic, like Deloitte, like Volkswagen Audi, and Majorica as well, in different positions like internal auditor, external auditor, corporate treasurer, and as you said, I joined Coty in the year 2000, not in 2002, but in 2000, so 17 years ago. And I can tell you, that I have spent most of my career in Coty. Coty has experienced a huge transformation over those years, and I have been growing with Coty in different positions. Most of my career I spent being the finance director for Iberia. I spent around 10 years in that position, and I combined this position with other corporate project roles. And in the last 2-3 years, I have participated in different corporate projects. And we did several acquisitions and several mergers, and I participated in some of them, Sure One, also in Procter & Gamble One, and in the last years we have continued transforming our organization, and lately I am also involved in some studies regarding setting up the shared center, which, by the way, this is what is about our next event with you, with Axiom. So I would be glad to participate and contribute with my experience and my background to that discussion.
Perfect. Ricardo, I want to go straight to the point. In this edition, we're going to focus on humans versus robotics in Shared Service Center and how we retain talents in a company, plus the evolution of Shared Service Center toward the Center of Excellence, and also how to choose, or the main factor to choose the location for Shared Service Center. It's gonna be your main topic to discuss. You will present it. Can you tell us a little bit more about this point particular, and why to choose this location, how to consider these factors, and because it's a basic decision to start a project. So it's an essential point.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, the companies spend quite a lot of time to decide the location, and there are many factors that can be considered. And those factors, of course, they are not only about labor cost, but also about talent pool retention, about high volume transaction productivity. There are many factors to be considered, and also I think it's important internally within each of the companies to understand what is the culture of the company and what is the current organization setup, because you may have an ideal end state. However, you need to go towards that end state, and you need to transition from where are you today and what is your final objective. So you need to make sure that the transition phase towards a shared service center flexible and your company is, let's say, well prepared internally towards that objective. So there are many factors to be considered. Also, what is the approach? Are we going to are you going to do this through looking for standardization, or just you are going to shift and lift your processes and you are going to standardize in a second stage? All these type of questions or concerns, of course, are very important in order to decide the location as well, because at the end, in some companies, I don't know, labor cost is of course one important thing, but in other companies it's also very important.
Right.
The culture, the location needs to be attractive enough in order for the people that can retain knowledge within the company in order to be able to work in that specific location. Okay. So yes, I think in the event of March we can have a very nice discussion with sharing different experiences from different companies, and I hope will be a very interesting discussion in order to better illustrate what we need to analyze and what factors need to be considered in order to find the right location. Because I agree with you, this is one of the key elements. Choosing the right location is starting to let's say to the right foundations for success.
And it's going to be very important for the companies who are considering to open a new short service center, and you're going to present the main factors, where to go, how to do it, and how to establish the center, right?
Exactly. And not only that, but also what kind of shared service centers, what functions are we going to is the company aiming to centralize? Are we talking about finance functions, or also supply chain, or IT center of excellence? So do we want to implement a center of excellence or a pure transactional backup shared service center? So it depends on the type of the final objective that we want to achieve, that the company wants to achieve. The selection of the location might be different, and also even if we are, if there are companies that are going to a very big central model with one single center with a lot of operations in that center, but there are also other models, hybrid models, that could be also work depending on the goals of the company and depending on the NDA of the company, depending on the culture and how the company is organized, where are the main markets as well, and how do we need to interact with those markets. Do we need one shared service center, two, three, and all of them will be split just by geography, just in order to cover a specific time zone, or also considering specializing them by type of processing.
Okay.
Some of them with more added value for more, let's say, sophisticated operations, and some others more lower value for pure transactional backup function. So all these ingredients need to be taken into account in deciding the location. So this is what the discussion is about on March 22 and March 23rd. So I hope it will be an interesting one with all the good colleagues that you are inviting as well to the meeting, and I hope it will be a good one and a very interesting one for all of us, for everyone.
Of course, Ricardo, I'm looking forward for the event and especially for your session. Ricardo, I want to end this interview with the final question. Besides Coty, Eaton, Schneider Electric, General Motors, Maersk Oil are joining us. Can you tell us what the people or the audience should expect as an outcome from this edition, particularly from this edition?
Yeah, I think the people needs to. I am. The people shouldn't expect as an outcome. Okay, I have a very clear view that the right decision should be this specific type of setup. But what is important is that the people need to understand that this is a very important journey for all the companies, and each of us, we need to take into account all the factors that need to be considered: internal factors, external factors, technology. Do we want to standardize before or after? Do we want to robotize before or after? Towards where is the company in their strategic plan in 1 year, in 5 years? And the most important thing is that there are many factors to be considered, and all of them, they need to be considered in the table, prioritizing them with a good range of activities in order to take the final decision. There is no black and white. Of course, there are always approaches that need to be considered, and there are factors that are much more important than others. But at the end, it's not a black or white decision. It is important to have all the elements in your analysis before deciding the right location. So I am sure that this will help to the audience to better understand what elements should be considered in this journey.
Yes, you are right, totally right. Ricardo, in this edition we will have special features like workshops, keynote sessions. We're gonna have a tour for Shared Services Center here in Barcelona. We'll announce it later. For more information, please visit our website. Keep viewing our post on LinkedIn, on all social media for more information. Ricardo, I want to thank you so much for this session, for this interview, and for the information you gave us. Of course, we are looking forward to meet you in March and to hear your presentation. I want to thank you again for participating with us for the last edition for Shared Services as well, and for financial supply chain. Last year you joined us. So thank you so much, Ricardo.